somewhat of a mediocre programmer, but using AI tools both for generating code, helping out with asking questions on ChatGPT, using Copilot in VS Code, using generative AI to generate some artwork as placeholders for later. Hoping to be able to make a game faster than if I didn't have all of those tools. So where are we at this point? Let's quickly let's just press play just to make sure that I didn't leave any bugs from last time. So we now have a Roomba that we can control going left to right. It is consuming power and we can see the power being consumed, as you can see here in the bar, and you can also see it on the little bar here. So we have two UI elements. We can get recharged by moving in front of our charger, and we can now even collect dust. So we have little dust particles here spawned on the floor. Oh, my scale, that's why it looks so strange. My scale, and there you go. I can now collect dust. My storage for dust is now also full, so I stop collecting the dust. And again, we have a bar up top and a bar down here. So that's where we ended the last episode. If I run out of power, I can no longer move anymore. I can switch between different devices. I can even take control of the charger. That's the kind of the point where we're in AI, taking control of every device possible in this scene. I see I only had one Roomba, so there's no other Roomba to take control of, but the goal is, for example, let me just quickly copy paste a Roomba here, a Roomba there, and we can switch between the Roombas because we are not playing as a single character, but we're playing as an AI piece of code that can take control. There we go. So we can control this. We switched using ENA, and we can take control. Take some dust. Oh, this one needs charging. Let's switch to this machine and continue. I see that our players are still interacting with one another, which is not really something because now it's a bit. And oh, I can push this one off a cliff for sure. Oh, come on. Oop. Yes. Oh, no. Oh, we're stuck in each other. Okay, that's strange. Anyway, these are bugs for later. But that's where we're at right now. Now the next thing is that, okay, we can now collect the dust particles, but these dust particles are not do not appear out of nowhere. So we need to kind of make the reverse of our module that we've generated now. So we generated a resource module that can pick up resources. That can be anything because we made it generic. In this case, it's dust particles. It will keep track of how much it has picked up and stored as a number, so it doesn't, like, it destroys the object, but it keeps references of how many of which type of resources it has picked up. And now we basically want to do the reverse, so we'll try to use the same module to just do the reverse, because we were using these zones. If you go look at a Roomba, its resource module has in its children two zones. Wait, this is not the one here. We have the resource collection zone here, which is this little bar at the top, but we also want to be able to expel resources, and we have another zone here. We can make it as big as we want, but basically we could use it in multiple different ways. We could even say, well, our Roomba is even capable of expelling some resources, because let's say I collected some dust, but I want to expel it and pick up some other dust somewhere else. So we could maybe even have a button that says expel dust and put it back into the real node. So basically converting it from a number and array back to a physical instance of the dust particle in the world. But the main reason why we would use that is actually to spawn dust particles, and in this case we're kind of in the laboratory setting and we want to create a venting system that basically expels dust from somewhere else in the lab where it's trying to clean the dust out of the air, and it would expel it here, and the job of our Roomba is to clean that, right? So the game loop that we're going for is our Roomba uses power to clear the dust out of the room. It will then need to recharge, because power is not endless and it's small battery, so it will go recharge at the charger. But of course there's a missing link there, because if our charger is empty, we need to be able to generate more power, and that's going to be the dust that can be burned. So you drop off the dust at like a power generator or an oven or whatever, it burns the dust, it generates energy, and that will be the loop. And that's just a small loop out of what this game needs to be, but at least we have already then a certain small loop, and from there on we can start expanding outwards. But that's basically the goal here as an AI to survive in this game. You need to make sure you have a powered device that you can control. And if you don't have any more devices in the world that you can control, then you'll lose. All right, let's go to the code of this. No, actually, let's start with the fun part. Let's generate some artwork again using Adobe Illustrator, generating vector graphics. And we want a vent, just like a vent grating. So let's just go in our prompt here, a sci-fi. I always use the same prompt, sci-fi, cyber, futuristic, because that's kind of our theme. Futuristic, laboratory, event, which, well, event, that should be more than enough. Let's just try this. Let's see what it generates. I didn't really specify the perspective, but it's usually quite bad at, as you can see from many of these things here, like I usually want the 2D, very orthographic view, orthographic perspective, but it's usually gives me more of a 3D view. Although I think the last one here looks 2D. I think it didn't quite understand what a vent is, because the first thing looks more like a vending machine. Let's look at this. I think this looks somewhat, but it doesn't look at all. Vent exit light from a ventilation duct. Let's be a bit more specific, because it doesn't look like it really understood what I was going for. Let's try that again. My webcam lagging. Oh, I think it's getting a bit more into what I'm trying to look for here. And in that case, so for those who have been looking at the previous episodes, our devices are composed out of different modules. For example, a locomotion module, which is capable of moving the device. We have network modules, which determine whether or not our device is available in the network. And now we have our power modules, which is basically storing and consuming energy or charging other devices. And we're working now on our resource module. And we can just swap out the sprite so that it looks somewhere else, but the code remains the same, so we can just attach it to another device. Oh, this one looks cool. This one has an actual, like, a spinning thing, so that's kind of cool. This is too much of a perspective from the side, so let's delete these things. Actually, let's delete some things that we're not using, because we have not used this, we're not using this. Oh, need to sneeze. Apologies. This vent looks good enough, so let's just quickly generate an artboard. And again, look at this, how fast this goes. Like, again, this art is not perfect whatsoever. It looks, there's a lot of mistakes in there, there's a lot of stuff wrong, but just to get a feel of our game and just to enjoy the process of generating the game more, it's amazing what AI can do to just make the process faster and more fun, at least for me personally. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I decided to stream these things, because I felt like I was, a long time ago, I wanted to already make games or a game, and I was like, okay, I don't think I'm there yet in terms of programming skills and whatnot. And since then I've been doing some front-end development where I've learned to code more and more, and at this point I was like also using AI and Copilot, by the way. That made my learning curve much more manageable. And sport, and I was like, well, if this made my my path. Oh, I have two artboards. Wait, just a second, because I apparently created two artboards. Let's delete the other one. There you go. Export. And yeah, so I was like, okay, maybe now it's the good time. This is for content, so that's not really what I need. Repositories, this is code, lyrics, video, games, that's, yes. We have our sprites folder here, which is still down in assets. Sprites, yeah, I don't have to select 1x because it will automatically do so. export artboard, and if we now go to the assets folder in Unity, it should just be there. Assets sprites 1x. So what we'll do is this is basically a new device event, right? So we will I will delete those two that I just generated. Maybe it's I will quickly look if there are certain prefab savings that I need to do, so which I will. Wait, let's just, can I think I need to isolate this again to make sure I can override these things. There says no overrides. Oh yes, there are overrides here. Why though? I don't remember why. Let's just do it because this is my most up to date. Any overrides here? I don't expect so. So what I'm doing now quickly is checking all my prefabs if they're up to date before I copy, and now I will also update my Roomba machine because I didn't do it since last time. So we're gonna make a new device. So I'll just copy paste this, and I'm gonna put it in the air because this is gonna be event. So let's already rename it event. Event does not need to move, so I'll remove the module of locomotion. I'll keep the computer network because it's still something that needs power to run, unless it's like a passive event, but in this case I'll consider it to be because it would be cool like if you could like connect to it and you say, well, shut it down and there's no more dust coming out, and you could do that if you find your way into the network, which is something we haven't really worked with. It needs power, but it might be a good time to also start implementing some devices that have infinite power, or at least to say like they're on the grid, so that we don't actually need to manage the power of those small devices that need to keep working all the time. And then we can later replace it with a more where we, like, if you just say, look, it's part of the grid, and then we can say, okay, but the grid actually does have limited supply of power, but again, not for now. It does have a resource module. So one thing I forgot to do is that we need to take in mind that we usually have a sprite for the device and then different modules. So as you can see, I removed the locomotion module, so the wheel disappeared. It's just to have a sprite for each module and then one sprite for the device. Like the network is this little router on top of it. The computer is usually this chip that we generated at some point. The power is this little battery. So I need to maybe go here again, and I should isolate a part of this sprite to be the specific part that really is the resource managing part, and maybe I'll just go for the center part. That's the cool part about the fact that these are vector graphics, really, because I can just like take it. Let's see. I think if we consider all these parts, maybe it's easier to do it. How can I easily like select stuff which is just in the middle without, because if I now drag and drop, I will select at least something. Alright, let's just... Sometimes if I feel like it'll take too long to find a fast solution, there's a lot going on there. Actually, you know what could work is if I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there you go. And now I can start selecting this stuff, and I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. Actually, let's go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and only the spinning part here. Let's keep that as our sprite. Let's keep these things because I think they still belong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that like no, that's separate? So this is definitely a workaround, obviously. I'm missing like some kind of a tool that I wanted to use. Okay, this is more than enough effort. So we will make a separate sprite for this tool because this will be a certain We'll call this the vent resource module. There we go. Oh, it's still part of that. Okay, I need to. Hey. I need to group it. Yes. Yes. Objects fit to selected art. Export. Clear selection. This one. Oh, I need to export both because the other one I need to remove. So and actually it would be cool because could even maybe add some animation to this thing because all it needs to do is spin. I'll ask Copilot to generate this animation for me. Actually, it won't be an animation, it will just make it spin, which is not really an animation in the sense that it will be spinning by code and not really as in an animation. I don't know if there's a difference though. But export, import, you replace the one vent, yes. Good. Let's go to sprites and let's select the vent and we can exchange this. There we go. This is now the vent. The computer module, let's put it here on the side somewhere, right here at the bottom in the middle. The battery, the network module. Honestly, the network module looks a bit like way too much for this thing, but that's fine. The power module is a small battery. Let's just put it here on the side. Again, we will probably hide these things because they're not so relevant for the vent. And we could actually just do this by putting them like in one layer behind, right? There you go. Same for the chip. Oh no, I like the computer chip because that's still in the front. But same for the network. Let's just hide the sprite behind it. And then for the power and the power sprites here, do I want that? I can just remove it. I think it might bug out if I remove it because it looks for it, but I think I put like checks everywhere, like if it's not there then just don't care. But let's see. I can start by just disabling it, I guess. Let's just disable it, because then I can still put it back without having to really do anything. Then we have these two modules. This one has a new sprite. There we go. We will put it in here, about where it's supposed to be. And it has these zones. Zone in. So the vent shouldn't really take in, because, well, I could have a vent that takes in dust. So let's just quickly make a certain zone here that is capable of, if a dust particle would enter this, it would be taken up, but I will have to disable it obviously because this one's supposed to be a spawner, and if it spawns it and it immediately takes it up, well, then we're getting nowhere, right? But let's make the really tight around the vent or the blades, because that's like a dust particle needs to be there. So then if I switch the direction of this vent where it needs to be a dust sucker rather than a dust spawner, at least the region is already. So transfer zone out, that's the one we're interested right now. This one needs to spawn dust. But I'm guessing that could be around the same, it could be the same zone. It just needs to spawn them here, and we can probably give them a little force such that they don't like accumulate right in front of it. This looks fine. And then the storage fill bar, also I don't need it right now because I don't need to keep track of how much is stored in the vent. What's this? Oh, that's this. Yeah, okay, this, never mind. So I think let's actually move it into the scene. It's actually quite big, this vent. Maybe a bit too big for, well, it's fine. So can I lock these things because I keep, is it possible to lock? Oh, talking about lock, yeah, I already know something's gonna happen. This thing's gonna fall on the floor. So the rigid body needs to be, I think, kinematic. I was thinking static, maybe even. What's the difference between kinematic? Oh, this still detects collisions. While if it's static, it will not detect collisions at all. But actually, this doesn't need to do anything. This just needs to, yeah, this just needs to hang there. It is quite big though. But anyways, that's not important. Good. So that's artwork. Great. So we have our new resource module, which is still carrying all the same code. But now we need to go and check. There you go, device resource module. I think I've already added a boolean as an is spawner and is collector. That's what I called it. But this one, it's so maybe we should go here and say this will be a spawner and not a collector. So let's just turn it off. That will take it over. Okay, this one's max storage should be super high. Let's just, because it should be near infinite, but I don't even know if you can you use infinite? I don't know. Min storage doesn't matter. This also doesn't really matter. Yeah, this will be, yeah, that's fine. Is it installed? Yeah, it will find that that's all automatic. Is it powered? Yes. But that's one of the first things I want to do is, maybe I do want to do that first. Let's go to device module and say is serialized fields. I want to make that this power source is like an infinite power source, so I don't need to, that it doesn't suddenly already break because the battery is empty. Is it on the grid or has infinity power? No, infinite power. There you go. Has infinite power. False. Sure. Where am I checking this? Update charging status. Charging status. No, I don't. No, I need to check update. Where am I checking? Where am I setting is powered? That's the first question. Oh no, but is powered is done by something else. I just need to, when I'm updating the charge itself, if it's infinite power, current charge is max charge. There you go. See, Copilot did that for me. I didn't even have to think much longer than that. So if it has infinite power, there's basically no updating. The current charge is max charge and return, and that's it. And I think the rest of the code will take care of that. And that's it. So we can close this. I can quickly go back and forth and make sure that my power module on this thing is an infinite power source. I don't have to deal with that. Has infinite power. There you go. Is it a charger? No, it's not a charger. So that power module is just a normal battery. That's fine. Honestly, I'm hating these warnings right now. Let me just quickly check these stupid warnings. What does it actually say? I think it's because it should be overriding. Yeah, let's just do this. There you go. There's another one. I know these warnings are not important, but I'd rather have clean code that doesn't even have any warnings or whatnot. It's always nicer. There you go. Same here. Probably same here. Another one. Computer. Locomotion module. Oh, locomotion module. I'll switch it. No. There you go. The rest is already in. Okay. Let's check if these warnings are gone. Warnings are the worst. Well, errors are the worst, obviously. But no, warnings are worse because they give you a false sense of like you tend to ignore them. I think there was still one warning. Come on. No? Yes, see? Now value is never used, my min storage. That's true. Well, let's just comment it out right now. Or I should delete it if it's not necessary. Better. There you go, that's my last warning. I'm gonna do that. Alright. Let's just close all the files and go back to the resources. Let's quickly close everything just to see what functions I have here. I have some of these things. Add resource, remove resource. So I also should load one of these zone scripts, the transfer zone here. So we should make a function called spawn resource. Uh-oh. What does it do here? Public, oops. This is what Copilot proposed. Does Copilot know what I want to do? If it's powered, return correct. If the current storage is 0, there's nothing to spawn. That's correct. For each, it's going to instantiate research. There's not, yeah, sure, but it's kind of correct though. Yeah, good enough. But I just still need to make this get resource prefab. So in our resource script, should have a valuable serialized field. No, it's a game object, I guess. Resource prefab. Look, it already knows what I'm looking for. Come on, do you know what function I'm looking for? Yes, you do. Look at that. And which means that if I now go to did I already have? Well, I need a resource prefab for every type of resource that I will have, so I need... So this is not actually correct. I need some kind of a record or an array or... predict again, I guess. Where is predicts? There you go. Alright, let's do it like this. Serialized field protect different or soon. No, it's a dictionary of yes, resource types, that's true, but instead of int, it's game object. Resource and resource type is like dust. Yeah, that's because I'm just making any resource. So this should be removed because I don't want to set it anymore. I will set it in the inspector, but how do I even reference it? Without using the... Yeah, so we need resource type. Resource or resource type, yes, and then... no. Resource prefabs. You should understand what I'm trying to look for here. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm looking for. How do I fill it? Let's also first make that prefab maybe. There's already an error here. Stored resource.g. That's correct. Object reference is required for the non-static field method property. Go to the prefabs folder. Resources. I already have it. Let the dust. Oh no, but no, that's fine. I don't need a key. I don't need the whole list. And the resource itself will carry its own prefab. What am I saying? This is stupid. Resource prefab. Can a script carry its own reference to a prefab that contains that script? That sounds kind of weird. So the thing what makes it tricky here is I'm saying it's a spawner, but what does it spawn? Does it spawn anything that's stored, or do I say like you're a dust spawner? It would make it a little bit more easier to just say you spawn dusts. Although I think maybe it's better that it does just spawn, because the thing is that, well, what if like this one just spawns one of whatever is in the list, right? Just one of them. Oh yeah, you're right. So I need stored resource value. I do need to first create a resource from the class to resource to spawn. I mean, again, the easiest way to do this is to say your resource to spawn, but we call it the game object, and but no, it's not generic enough. But the problem is that when we currently it's holding like a string record of the resource. It just says dust. I have 10,000 of dust resources. But it's just a number. It doesn't actually have the instance, so it needs to create an instance based on the type that is listed. So how do I, okay, I'm gonna have to ask you because this is, okay, I want to create a resource instance of a certain type or yeah, of a certain type based on a string value. Because that's the thing, I just have like the names, and then how does it do like a constructor? But I haven't even seen any constructors here. Create resource. Use a factory pattern. Instance of a class based on that string. But that's correct, that's kind of what I want. Create resource. Turn new resource type. But resource type doesn't exist. Can you say resource equals new? Like, that's like, what does that work? It does. They don't necessarily want to make a prefab though. Does that work? Oh, but that's not a game object yet. Yeah, you're right. So I need to make like a game object. Okay, can you create a new game object, then attach the resource script to it, and then instantiate it? I mean, again, ideally we just use a prefab, right? But then I just have to have a list of all the prefabs. Add component. Okay, it already realizes where I want to do this. So let's see. This is what I was already doing. Resource type. I need to say set type then. Oh no, it's resource type. But that's still private, so. But what does a resource? Because a resource has much more than just that. It has sprites, it has. That's why the prefab is just much better. This is just ridiculous. It has a collider. I don't want to do that all by script. So okay. Okay, so this is not going to work. I do want to use prefabs. But somehow I need to keep a list of which prefab to use or to instantiate based on its type string. Let's see what ChatGPT Copilot says. Serializable class to hold the mappings. Yeah, that's exactly what I would want, but what the hell is a serializable class? Then in your device resource define a list. Yeah, sure. Where do I need to do this though? Now in your spawn resource method, you can look up the prefab. Oh, yeah, okay, sure. Can I do that in resource itself? Does that work? It's not complaining. How does this look now if I go to resource? Resource type, it's not showing up though, so I don't know what that means. Yeah, that's fine. That's not what I want to do. Right, so then say, oof, this is some complex code that I don't, if I read it I'll probably understand it, but I never would have been able to come up with it. Resource prefab, yes, I still need to make that list though. List of resource prefab. I think I should make this a separate thing. Correct? Yes. So I can put it in the same script. That's not a problem. Wait, does that change things? Can I now already see it somewhere? No. Find. I don't have to set this thing though, because I don't need to set it. It's gonna be set in the prefab, so that's fine. So this should kind of work. The only thing is now, how do I? Okay, great. But how do I populate that prefabs list? And I would rather do that like in a separate script there also. Maybe not in the resource module, because I will need that list in many other places, I assume. Alright, let's see if that's true. Is it saying I should go to my resource module? I should have resource prefab. That's true, it's a list. The list is empty, that's correct. On a lock icon. The log icon? Oh yeah, okay. Oh my god, that really works. Look at that. Whoa. Sorry, I'm a bit like... Because sometimes when you work with AI, ChatGPT Copilot, they can send you like on like a rabbit in a rabbit hole, and they're just talking crap anyway, so it's not really getting you anywhere. It seems to work. Do I know if it's the best way to do this? I don't know. That's not the point. Right now, we just need things to work. But honestly, theoretically, this should work. The only thing I want to change, but it's not urgent, is the where it needs to spawn it. Because it needs to spawn it within that zone, not just where the whole device is. But that's not really important right now. What is important is that I need to check that a dust resource is on a layer that doesn't interact with my device, but it's on the resource layer still, so it's fine. Okay, and now we still need to call this. So we will need to call this every update. So spawn a resource every 1 second. Sure. If it's powered, if it's spawner, what? I don't think that's how we need to do it. That sounds really weird. Okay. I now have a function called spawn resource. I want this to be called every X seconds. Oh, but and for sure it shouldn't be an update. It should be in start at least. Because otherwise it will start invoke repeating. That sounds like that's what I'm looking for. Spawn interval, there you go. I will set that like so. Let's say start spawn. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. I don't know what I did here. Oh, I've been, okay, never mind. Oh, and if it is a spawner, that's actually exactly what I would want to do. Spawn interval, yes. So let's say serializable field is spawner. Come on, you know what to do. Spawn interval. There you go. Every second. I will set this to like a magic number. Spawn interval. Spawn. No. Spawn interval. I would rather use a rate though. So spawn rate, which means I need to do 1 over spawn rate, because the spawn rate is like 5, means 5 per second. There you go. Did this work? Let's see. Let's just test it. Let's just test it, because I've done a lot of coding without actually testing anything. Let's see. There's no warnings, no bugs. But when you press play, obviously. Of course there's a reference null object. Why wouldn't there be? Where are you referring to? Build bar. Yeah, that's fine, but why are you crashing? That's not necessarily. Okay. You need to check that though. Just check. If no, there you go. There you go. That's what I need. See, I said in the beginning that I had these checks. It don't. Now it's there. But that still doesn't mean that. So I do need to put some blocks here. So let's say. The only downside now of having that list in the inspector is that if I ever, I don't know, like delete something, then I don't like, I would prefer to have it programmatically, that list, rather than doing it manually in the inspector. But let's just keep it like this for now, so that's fine. Yeah, this is stupid. Is a spawner, so let's just debug spawner. Invoke repeating spawn resource. Let's just here debug spawning resource. Go. Did I actually put anything in here? No, it's empty. That's why it's not spawning. There's nothing in here. Right, so at the start, if it is a spawner, I need to fill it. Fill the storage with resources. So we should though, like say a default spawn, say serialized fields, resource type, default resource type to spawn. And it is actually, it's true, it's dust. If that is set, this needs to happen in the manager actually. So I should just have like see add resource here. I should just do that, like adding resources at the start. The only problem with add resources, it literally adds 1. So if I want to add 1,000, it's going to call this function 1,000 times, which is like, Public void add many resources. There you go. Now we're duplicating code though, so that's not good. I don't need 2 functions, I just need to... Where does it get called? In the transferring zone, correct? Yes, and we just put 1 here. There you go. And many resources is useless. And then say int amount. I think. Oh, that's true. If current total storage equal plus what I'm about to add plus amount, that's important actually. If that equals, if that would be bigger than max storage, more than or equal to, yes. That's right, and then this becomes amount, and this becomes amount. There we go. And what was my point again? Oh yeah, I need to add resources at the start here. So let's just not think about that. Although, again, usually if we make it a spawner, it usually will spawn one single thing though. Let's control C. Uh-oh, I did something. Yes. Meaning that here will, alright, there you go. What? Oh, yeah. But ideally, I don't do it like that though. I would say add resource, no? Oh, that's true. This is better. Because this one just takes a string. Alright, let's see. How can I see if it's actually full? Actually, if I just up, maybe I should actually put my the fill bar up, because then I can see. So fill bar on world, let's just activate it. Why don't I see it? Why is it not showing? The thing itself is on layer 5. The whole module is on layer 6. So if this would be on layer 6 or 7, let's say 7, you should be able to see it. Where is it? Oh, whatever. That's not really what we're testing right now. Oh. Oh no. It was on again. Oh, there it is. Alright, let's press play. Hope stuff happens. Yes! Look at that! Oh, why is only one dropping? Whee! Oh, I'm full? Oh, there's a lot of stuff going wrong. Be right back. A lot of bugs. UI fill bar. Sure, but I already said, like, if you can't find it, whatever. And it should be there actually. But is it really null? That's always the thing, right? Maybe it's just undefined. And it actually is, because it's right there. That shouldn't really spawner. Spawning resource. It spawned one thing once, it then spawned it again. Wait, am I spawning? Oh, there's an issue here. I'm saying spawn resource, but I'm not saying what. Oh, but that's not necessary. More debugs are needed. Almost working. There you go. Bug. Spawning resource. Instantiate. Update current total storage. Sure. Why the break though? Because it should only maybe we should keep it a little bit simpler, because this actually doesn't make much sense, because I'm telling it to like repeat this, but then I'm also telling it to loop over the whole thing and like so let's keep it simple. We will call it spawn resource of a certain resource type. Resource or resource type. Oh, there you go. If yes, exactly. It's exactly what I wanted. Look at that. How amazing is it? If the current storage plus amount. Wait. No, but not an amount actually. Well, yeah, sure. We can ask for one. That's fine. That doesn't make sense though. It's powered. Let's see. This. This is actually no, sorry. At this point, it did a very bad job. We do need to find it, so that's one thing that it did well. Is it powered? If not, then stop. If stored resource contains a key of this resource type, now we can actually do what we want to do, and that's this whole thing. Not just the key though. The value needs to be bigger than 0, or bigger than the amount, bigger or equal than amount. If stored resource stored resource equals no. Dot value. Isn't that what it's supposed to? Oh. Right, let's just copy paste this here. That's the stuff that needs to happen. We can remove all of this. Remove this as well. There's a lot of ifs going on, which is not a good thing. Is this correct now? No, we're missing still one. There you go. Right. So is it powered? Because this is something that can only happen when it is powered. Something's in my way. Then we need to check if this resource that we're trying to spawn, if it's actually available. So this function should, does it contain any of those keys that we just asked for? Ah, crying. Small bugs. Oh no, but it's actually this. This just needs to go here. That dot value thing doesn't work. There you go. What are you complaining about? Expected. What? No, there. So if the stored resource. Oh, what did you want to do? Yes. There you go. Get key value pair. That's kind of, well, never mind. Let's just continue the way it looks. That's fine. Because the key is the same as the resource type. So we're checking, and it should be minus, by the way, because we're spawning it. Stored resource, but let's do that really at the end. Because if anything else fails, we shouldn't really do that. Mount. And then here, the only problem is that now this requires like two parameters, and I don't know if I can do that here because I don't know how do I. Let's say how to add parameters with invoke repeating. Unfortunately, it's not supported by it. You can use a coroutine. Okay, fine. What's the coroutine? Oh, I don't need all that. Oh, I do need all of that. Start coroutine. It's a separate function. Right, let's first finish this function. We're making the prefab. Or we're getting the prefab from our list of prefabs. Find the prefab, instantiate the prefab, correct. Once all of that works out, we're gonna then update current total storage. Great. Now apparently if we want to make a coroutine, we need to make a separate function called private enumerator. I know spawn. But no, wait. What am I talking? While true. No, but spawn resource is not like. That's a function I will call for many other things. I don't want that to be the whole thing. Yes, so while true. While what true though? This is weird. While true. Yes, correct. But you're saying you don't like this. Unreachable code. Oh, it has to be inside then. That's so strange. I don't know how this is something I've never seen before. But it seems to make sense, but it's a bit strange. Alright, but we need to add some... Yes, oh you had it. Yes, correct. Amount. Resource type. Reload. Oh yeah. Spawn resource. Well, routine, but it's kind of weird that I need to use that. Spawn resource routine, so then evoke repeating. Should realize what I want. Yes, there you go. Fill the storage, and then start coroutine to spawn resources if it's a spawner. Sure. So for me, I'm still only at 200 lines of codes here for this script. But maybe this thing is doing two things. It either spawns or picks up. And the question is, should we divide that later on? But maybe quickly, because I was writing here on our to-do list, I have here refactor. So once I have my first game loop, which after this still requires me to put the dust in the oven, which burns into electricity and charges the charger, then I'm gonna do a bit of refactoring, because I think there's quite a bit of code that can 100% sure there's a lot of refactoring done. Those will be boring episodes for people who don't like refactoring. Just skip them, that's fine. But it's always interesting to. I enjoy refactoring every now and then. So let's first make it. Actually, this should work. So let's clear. Let's go back and forth. Don't what? Oh, there you go. So actually, if I can get this to work, then if I can get to spawn the dust, then I think it's good enough for this episode, because then we did some artwork, we did some chatting. Okay, it spawns one of them. Why does it still not spawn more? 1/5. That should be 5 per second, by the way. Is that correct? Yield return, wait for seconds, 1/5, so that should be small. Okay, we should have a debug here for sure. Spawning resource, that should be spamming all over the place. The fill bar, I don't understand why the fill bar is still having issues. It's right there. It's not? Oh, it's the one for the module, for the... Okay. I know what's going on. It's the one, it's this one. You're complaining. If, come on, you know what I want to do. If charge, yes, that's the one that's complaining now. I didn't see it. Can I quickly check if my think it's device module resource. The list is complete. Yeah, it's fine. It's a spawner. We have a spawn rate of 1, which is fine actually, because it will overwrite the one I have there. You spawn dust. Can I actually see the array? No, I can't. Alright, let's clear the console. Let's play again. What's your problem? Why don't you want to do it? Why do you do it once? That's the weird part. Oh, it's not doing it anymore. So why do I start with a full... let's go to resource. Good question. Oh, that's why it's spawning. Should not be spawner. It's filling itself, which is... This thing is... Aha. I didn't disable the... It's not a collector. Did I not? No, it's off. But it should not be collected. And actually, I don't think I'm checking for that. I have that boolean, but it's not checking for that. Which means that it's just basically spawning and it's sucking up its own dust. Which is what just happened to my that's why it was filled. It was spawning very fast, 1 per second, and it was full. Okay, where am I checking if I'm actually... But the zone itself, you know, what the zone, why maybe we could just check if the zone is if it's a resource, but we could check like, do I have a reference to this device? Yes, I do. So we could say if, oh, actually that's not too bad though. Sorry, that's already a good check, because if there's not such a thing, just return. But then also check if resource module is a collector, because if it's not, then you don't have to bother with this. There you go, as collector, but I don't have a getter for that. So public bool is collector. Come on. It doesn't like it. Oh, it already has it. And the reason why I want to put it in the zone, not in its function, because I still want to be able to use this function add resource even if it's not a collector. A collector specifically means that it's collecting zone. I need to just add this then, and that should work. No. Is it really there though, this collector? Oh, but it should be capital. Oh, you're lying. Oh. Fine. If it's not a collector, then don't collect it. It's a bit of a weird thing, I guess, but the zone is really the one that says if you're collecting or not. Alright, that's good. On the other hand, honestly, this zone should just not exist if it's not a collector. Because now this is still triggering. Wasting resources, but that's for refactoring. It's still checking for collisions while it's not even a collector, so the zone shouldn't be there. So one thing got fixed though, which is that this one doesn't fill up immediately. But now is the question, did I actually set this correctly? So let's go to the resource module for the Roomba. Is it a collector? Yes. Is it a spawner? No. Good. Now go to the vent. This one, is it a collector? No. Is it a spawner? Yes. Good. Bill bar, are you complaining again? Really? Oh, bill bars? Close all of this. UI fill bar 31. The fact that it works once, that should be enough, no? You know what I'm gonna try here is I'm gonna call spawn resource on update without the coroutine. There we go. Maybe I should do that like times time delta time. That's safer. Float to int. What's int? To int, does that work? Ah, round. Round what? Come on. Round to int, but it doesn't want to do that. Oh yeah, I think I need to put it inside the brackets. Round to int. No? Does not exist. No, it's okay. Let's just ask. How to round up a float. Math.round. Round. And I have to say float first. Why? Does not exist in the current context. Are you kidding me? Do I need to update this? Round it to an int. No, so that's definitely wrong. Do I need to import? Don't need to import it. Why are you complaining? Alright, quick fix. Using system, but system is there, no? Not convert from double to int. Oh, come on, just do it automatically. But this will be crazy. Let's say 0. This is what happened. Okay, let's say I have like 60 FPS. Let's just put this. No, but that's the point. That's not allowed. Spawn resource at a certain rate. Oh, it's a certain amount. It has to be 1. Yeah, I know. Okay. Let's just test it. It will spawn 60 per second, but at least then I know the function itself is fine. And then if there's an issue with the coroutine. Come on. Spawn all of them. Billions. Yep, okay. See, the function is working. That's not the issue. The issue is the coroutine. Bill bars are making... making me crazy. Start coroutine. Coroutine is not working. Right, let's. The function is just fine. So that's not the issue. Coroutine is not working properly. Debug a while true. It's gonna be one of those things where you just change random stuff and suddenly it will work and you don't know why. Works once. Wait for a second. What is my spawn rate? Maybe it's super long. My spawn rate is 1. 1 over 1 is 1. So each is it in seconds? Can you okay? Can you show me again how a coroutine works? I just don't understand. I remember that I also had it in the course, so let's also maybe bring up that. In the meantime, what's it called? Udemy. I think I can search for coroutines. Zebra search. No, I don't want to search here. I want to search in the entire course. Oh, there. Coroutine. Coroutines. There we are. Wait for seconds. We have slow trends. Let me just pause this for a second.
In this lecture, we're going to get our tween enemy spawns. While we're here, we can give it a default value, so maybe around 1 per. We're going to have a float called around 0.2 for now. So
Sure.
between
Just want to see the code.
plus the spawn time variance. Spawn enemies method, we've already written the loop to create the enemies, so we just need a way of delaying this loop for every iteration. And we can do this using something called a coroutine. Now, coroutines are kind of like methods, but they're written and executed slightly differently. The first step to setting up a coroutine is to give our method a new return type, so we're going to change this from void to be an I enumerator. Now, you don't have to worry too much about what an I enumerator is. You can really just think of this as the method returning something countable that Unity can keep track of. This is giving us a red squiggly error message for our method name, and it's saying that not all code paths return a value. So, like a method with a return type, we do need to return something, but unlike a method, we do this in a slightly different way. So, inside of our for loop, once we've gone round once, we're going to want to break out of this coroutine and wait for a certain amount of time. And to do this, we're going to need to yield control from our coroutine back to Unity. So, our return type for our coroutine is going to be yield return, and then we need to return something. Now, if we wanted this to execute straight away, we could return null. But in our case, we want to wait for a set number of seconds. So we're going to return a new wait for seconds. And we can see in this list here, we've got a few different options. We've got wait until the end of the frame. We've got wait until the end of the fixed update loop. But the one we want is wait for seconds. And the amount of time we want to wait is going to be coming from our wave config. So we can say current wave dot get random spawn time. And this is essentially the coroutine saying that it's done what it needs to do for now, and to come back and check on it in a number of seconds. Once that time has elapsed, Unity will check back in on our coroutine and say,
So,
you asked me to come back
Copilot
in a number
didn't
of
really make
seconds
a
to see if
mistake
you had
here.
anything else to do, and our
Our loop
coroutine
is just
going to enter
forever.
the next loop of our for loop.
This is why. Okay, now I understand while true. This is forever.
Enemy, and then yield control for another amount of seconds. This loop will continue until we've gone through all of the enemies in our list, at which point our coroutine will break out of its for loop and come to a close. So hopefully that logic makes sense, but let's see it in action. And before we can do that, we do need to call
Oh,
a coroutine slightly differently to a method as well. So up in our start method, where we're currently calling a method called spawn enemies, now we need to start a coroutine. And we can do that by writing start coroutine and then placing the method that we want to start in parentheses. So let's save up our script and see this in action in Unity.
this should just work, so I don't understand. Start coroutine. Is this spawner? Did it say that? So transfer in zone. Oh, but this is wrong. Transfer zone in. Yeah, this is wrong. They need to be switched. So this code needs to go here. And this code needs to go there. If it's a spawner. Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't. Not everything needed to be switched. It's just the zone that needed to change. But actually, it's not even relevant because it's not using the zone out. Stored resources, add. Can you show me that? Because maybe it's just empty. Oh, it's not true because we tested with the update. It works. Also, we say amount, but we actually only instantiate one of them. So we should say for int amount. We don't even need a reference for that though. So we can just do like, all right. Okay, let's just check. Because maybe I should just make a coroutine that just prints numbers and just check if coroutines work in general. If this doesn't work, that's the first thing I'll do. All right. I enumerator print count. Yes. And then on start. That's that one. Doesn't even matter. Just print something every second. That's all I want to see. Oh, where's the music? There we go. Why is it sometimes saying 0 though? Strange. Count 0, count 09999. Which is correct, but not. That's just my debugs are a bit contains key because I think it might enough resources. Debug.log, instantiating, there you go, that's up. Come on. Alright, let me just copy paste this and ask. Coroutine is called only once. Let's see if we can find an issue. Something is stopping, but no, but the count is continuing. That's the weird part. There's almost no difference between these two. Let's put a 1 here, just to be sure, because maybe there's something wrong. Bug.log, spawning resources, debug.log, starting code, no. Counting. Why is the current total storage like 1 and 0 and maybe it's just a number. No, it's not. This coroutine is never called again. Only called once, while the count is called every second. Can you figure out why? But it's actually, there's nothing wrong with this function because it just doesn't get called again. Okay, let's just get it out of here and put it in the same. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that it's inside that if statement, which would be strange because I don't see any reason why that's an issue. See the why is that one called? Can I just not call the function? Does the function need to return something? Yeah, it has something to do with the function itself. The function itself is... Right, so the coroutine is fine. It's the function. So we can get rid of this. Get rid of this. You can put it back. Because it's the function itself that's doing something wrong. Debug is powered, correct. Contains key, correct. Enough resources instantiating. One of these things is causing an error, which is probably why it then stops the coroutine. Let's check it. Am I still calling it? No. Alright, we're almost there. Come on, just want to finish this. Just spawn some dust and we can optimize it later. That's all I want. Oh, so yeah, that's fine. It's just never used. That's okay. Enough resources is powered. Blah blah blah. Instantiating. Okay, I have one guess. Is it because this list is empty? Sorry, this one. Here, because I have an empty element. Let's just try that. Because that maybe crashes this function where it's looking for prefabs and finding, but it works the first time, so why wouldn't it work the second time? Actually, I should put some extra instantiated. Because maybe one of these things instantiated all. Debug. Remove resources. Debug. Maybe if one of these things doesn't get called, something went wrong. Removed resources gets called. Update storage does not get called. Why not? Because there's something wrong here. Object reference not set. Yes. Alright, that's the issue. The stupid fill bars. Are you kidding me? Right, let's debug them. I want the references. Wait, can I not check it actually? Yeah. Is it because of that? The coroutine is probably starting way too fast before any of the fill bars, but it shouldn't be an issue. This should just say fine, whatever. Return. Let's do this because I'm getting sick of it. Supposedly it should not be called. Ah, but maybe it's not on one of the other ones. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna not call that function. This one. Update local storage. Let's just not call that one. Because if that's the issue, then there's nothing wrong with I would code it for this feature, but there's still something wrong with my storage fill bar. Okay, everything's working just fine. There's still an error with that function, with the fill bar. I can clean it all. It works. Sorry about that. These fill bars are... Alright. Everything's fine. It's all working. There wasn't any issue. Right, I'm out of power. I can't move anymore. I can't even move to the charge, so that's it. But I can spawn dust right now. That's the most important part. That was a lot of debugging for nothing. But there is still an issue, so we need to fix that. Hopefully I can just fix that in the refactoring. So we'll stop here. Let's just quickly recap what we did. So we made some artwork for the event machine with a resource module that can now do both ways. If it's a spawner, it can spawn from its storage into the real world. If it's a collector, it can collect real world instances of resources and add it to its storage. And we can toggle them both on and off for one and the same device. And that's where we're at. So next time, I want to add some random positions or even some random force to the dust that it kind of gets scattered a little bit. Well, let's quickly go to the list here. So dust spawning, add some random force to the dust such that it doesn't all fall straight down. That we want some transferring between modules without having them to be instantiated in the real world and then be immediately be stored again. Let's see how we can do that, because that's going to be relevant if you want to transfer stuff from device to device, because now we're transferring resources from the world to a device and from the device to the world, but we also want to transfer from module to module, so we should maybe have something there as well. But anyways, we got what we wanted. We have dust being spawned into the world, which we can pick up. So we're like three quarters on our way to the final game loop. And we still need to find a way to fix that bug with the fill bar, which keeps giving null references. And I don't understand why, because I'm checking for it. But anyways, that's something for the next time. Alright, thanks for watching and see you around. Bye.